In a rainy and gloomy Gotham City, the Joker, dressed as a clown, braves the late hour as he walks the wet streets carrying 2 grocery bags. Despite the grim weather, he sports a worn-out grin, and lightning flashes above as he contemplates, "This whole thing could be a cosmic joke played on me by a god with a lousy sense of humor." Upon returning to his dimly lit hovel, the Joker, with a menacing aura, brandishes a switchblade in the presence of a baby. Surprisingly, rather than harming the child, he skillfully cuts through the swaddling cloth, jokingly remarking about changing the diaper. Even as the Joker muses about the baby's sleeping habits, the infant remains blissfully unaware, prompting the Joker to contemplate how this ease makes his job simpler. While changing the baby's diaper, the Joker momentarily pauses, contemplating the futility of the task and questioning his own actions. He stashes away the sharp objects, grumbling about the inconvenience of taking care of the infant. However, his thoughts are interrupted by the haunting memories of the previous night, causing him to reflect on his present actions with incredulity. In the midst of a harrowing chase through an industrial laboratory, Batman closes in on the Joker, ready to take him down. The Joker, however, catches Batman off guard, urging him to end his life, all while reminiscing about the green liquid that transformed him into his current state many years ago. The Joker's provocation about a nearby vat of chemicals leaves Batman unsure of how to proceed, causing him to grapple with the conflicting ideas of justice and vengeance. The Joker continues to goad Batman, taunting him to give in to the darkness within. However, Batman's patience wears thin, and he finally intervenes, expressing his frustration with the Joker's incessant taunts. Exploiting Batman's distraction, the Joker seizes the opportunity to throw him over the ledge, where he plunges into the mysterious liquid below. Initially, the Joker's excitement at seeing Batman seemingly dissolve quickly transforms into a realization of the void that would be left in the absence of his longtime adversary. Frantically pleading for Batman's survival, the Joker dives into the bubbling substance, eventually retrieving Batman's cape and hauling it back onto the ledge. Inside, the Joker finds only a crying, tiny baby, unable to comprehend the startling revelation that Batman has been transformed into an infant. Struggling to process this inexplicable turn of events, the Joker paces anxiously, grappling with the dilemma of what to do next. Eventually, overwhelmed by the absurdity of the situation, he succumbs to his own madness, letting out a resounding laugh into the night. Upon observing the infant Bruce, the Joker's expression shifts, and he formulates a twisted plan to raise the child as his own, draped in Batman's cape and cowl. Committing to the responsibility of nurturing the child until he is ready to become a formidable Dark Knight once more, the Joker's mind shifts back to the present, reminding himself of the obligation to foster a strong sense of justice in the young Bruce as he continues to care for him, even attending to the mundane task of changing the baby's diaper. In an unexpected turn of events, the Joker grapples with the predicament of purchasing an oversized diaper, prompting frustration and distress as he contemplates the prospect of returning to the drugstore amidst the relentless rain. Overwhelmed by the sudden responsibilities of fatherhood, the Joker's internal turmoil amplifies, realizing the joke is now on him, with no humor in sight. Meanwhile, chaos ensues as the Joker's criminal endeavors, accompanied by a legion of henchmen, sow mayhem and disorder across the city, marked by blaring sirens and billowing clouds of fog and ash. As the flames engulf Gotham, the Joker's maniacal laughter reverberates throughout the chaos, relishing in the destruction and havoc he has wrought. Delighting in the chaos he has unleashed, the Joker's fervor intensifies as he gleefully exclaims his desire to see the city burned to the ground. Amidst the wreckage, the Joker's attention is drawn to a struggling woman and her crying baby, underscoring the human cost of his destructive rampage. In his apartment, the Joker is jolted awake by the piercing cries of an infant, disrupting his unsettling dream where he relished the sound of a child's screams amidst a burning city. Abruptly pulled back to reality, the Joker recoils at the intrusive wails, retracting his earlier statement about finding enjoyment in the baby's cries, acknowledging the lack of pleasure in the current situation. The Joker grapples with the reality of caring for the child who is destined to become Batman, wrestling with the challenges of ensuring the baby's well-being and struggling to maintain his own sanity in the process. Battling exhaustion from the constant efforts to soothe the crying infant, the Joker attempts to console the child, imploring him to articulate the source of his distress. Ultimately resigned to his situation, the Joker resigns himself to the task at hand, acknowledging the relentless nature of the responsibility he now bears. Struggling to stay awake, the sleep-deprived Joker nearly succumbs to exhaustion, but he manages to startle himself back to alertness just in time. Observing the infant's drowsiness, he seizes the opportunity to return the child to the crib, realizing that taking care of baby Bruce has proven to be a more demanding task than he initially anticipated. To maintain a peaceful environment for the child, the Joker resorts to laughter within his own mind, striving to ensure a quiet and tranquil atmosphere for the sleeping baby. Despite the Joker's efforts to ease the baby back into the crib, Bruce's eyes snap open as soon as he is laid down, frustrating the sleep-deprived Joker. Expressing his exasperation, the Joker questions the infant's perpetual wakefulness, reflecting on his own deteriorating mental state as the lack of sleep takes its toll. The challenging task of caring for the child continues to test the Joker's limits, exacerbating his already twisted and unhinged demeanor. As the sun ascends over Gotham, the Joker remains devoid of sleep, persistently attempting to soothe the baby back to slumber with whispered reassurances. Promising the child that his attentive care keeps Gotham safe, the Joker's mind races, strategizing on how to maximize this opportunity for some much-needed rest. Focusing on delicate handling, the Joker's mind conjures an image of the infant as though he were equipped with a dangerous explosive, emphasizing the need for utmost caution. The Joker's tears mingle with his exhaustion as he gently places the now sleeping baby Bruce back in the crib, hoping to steal a brief respite. However, their peaceful moment is shattered by the intrusive sound of the doorbell, startling the infant awake. The delivery person's cheerful announcement of a delivery from Gotham Co-op disrupts the fragile tranquility, causing the baby to cry in distress, further agitating the Joker's already frayed nerves. The Joker's amusement swiftly transforms into a maniacal frenzy, punctuated by waves of uncontrollable mirth. As he grapples with the unforeseen consequences of relying on the co-op for supplies, the Joker's laughter is laced with bitter frustration and anger. With a mind teeming with vengeful thoughts, the Joker fixates on the delivery person, contemplating a violent retribution for the disruptive interruption. Retrieving his gun, a dormant instrument of chaos, the Joker advances towards the door, his thoughts seething with contempt for the notion of justice and the untimely disturbances that threaten to disrupt his tenuous equilibrium. As the Joker inches closer to the door, his gaze falls upon the saddened eyes of baby Bruce, momentarily staying his murderous intent. Recognizing the gravity of his actions and their potential impact on the child's emotional well-being, the Joker realizes the perilous extent to which he has lost control. Reflecting on the close call, the Joker acknowledges the need for restraint, addressing the baby in a measured tone to maintain composure. With a newfound sense of awareness, the Joker humbly requests the delivery person to leave the package at the door, his demeanor now meek and subdued. In the morning, the air in Gotham resonates with the wailing of sirens, setting the stage for Johnny Frost, the Joker's trusted lieutenant, who grapples with the notion of evil as an affliction. Acknowledging the Joker as a potential reprieve from the relentless grasp of this malevolent ailment, Johnny contemplates his own deteriorating state, pondering the absence of communication from his enigmatic boss. With a sense of concern weighing heavily on his mind, Johnny approaches the apartment building, intending to check on the Joker in person. After crushing his cigarette on the cold concrete, Johnny trudges into the desolate apartment building, his steps heavy with apprehension. Reflecting on the impact of the Joker's charismatic influence on his life, Johnny rehearses the words he intends to say to his enigmatic boss, eager to express his gratitude. However, upon reaching the door, he is startled to find it ajar, with a small shoebox and a threatening note placed conspicuously in his line of sight. Cognizant of the Joker's unpredictable nature, Johnny cautiously pushes the door wider, making his presence known to his potentially volatile boss. Johnny proceeds cautiously into the empty apartment, the sight of disarray and disorder sending a chill down his spine. Surveying the scattered belongings strewn across the floor, Johnny speculates about the possibility of a violent altercation or simply an uncharacteristic mess. Noticing a switchblade embedded in an alphabet poster on the wall, Johnny contemplates the potential significance of the cryptic arrangement, unable to decipher its hidden message. Overwhelmed by the eerie atmosphere, Johnny resolves to swiftly depart, sensing an ominous foreboding that lingers within the unsettling space. As Johnny's foot inadvertently trips over a toy car, sending him crashing to the floor with a painful thud, he yelps in surprise and bewilderment. Examining the toy truck, he struggles to comprehend its presence amidst the chaos. Startled by a voice from the shadows, Johnny turns to face the Joker, his terror palpable at the sudden appearance of his unnerving boss. Overwhelmed by the surreal sequence of events, Johnny is rendered speechless, his sense of unease amplified by the Joker's eerie whisper. Johnny comprehends the truth of the situation, recognizing the absence of the Joker's customary makeup and realizing the demands of caring for the infant have taken precedence over his theatrical appearance. Overwhelmed by the implications of his misjudgment, Johnny is struck with the realization that the Joker's unconventional responsibility has hindered his ability to maintain his characteristic persona. The Joker's explanation, delivered with a chuckle, underlines the sacrifices he has made in the caretaking process, demonstrating a rare glimpse of the humanity beneath his sinister exterior. Johnny collapses in apology, pleading for forgiveness as the Joker swiftly retrieves the child from his grasp. Prostrating himself before the Joker, Johnny implores for a chance to speak, cautiously offering a suggestion about enrolling the child in daycare, desperately hoping his advice might salvage the dire situation. Warning of the potential hindrance to their criminal exploits, Johnny proposes the notion of placing the child in nursery school, emphasizing the necessity of resuming their nefarious activities without delay. However, the Joker's gaze remains ominously fixed on the supplicating figure, an aura of malevolence emanating from the depths of his sinister eyes. The Joker's voice resonates with an unsettling curiosity, prompting him to urge Johnny for further information about the possibility of enrolling the child in a nursery school in Gotham. Reflecting on the absurdity of the situation, the Joker contemplates the extraordinary nature of Batman's experiences, recalling an instance where the caped crusader was supposedly slain by an artificial intelligence, emphasizing the capricious and unconventional nature of their shared history.